Some people move through life lightly, or emotions come and go like passing weather. But for you, feelings may arrive like storms. They fill the whole sky. They take time to move through, and they leave traces long after. This can make you wonder if something is wrong. You may ask yourself why everything cuts so deep, why joy overwhelms you, why sadness lingers for days, why anger feels like fire under your skin, why tenderness almost hurts. The truth is simple. You feel everything deeply because that is who you are. It is not a mistake. It is not a weakness. It is not something that must be fixed. It is the way your heart meets the world. Deep feeling is often misunderstood. People may call you too sensitive. They may tell you to toughen up. They may dismiss your tears or your joy. These judgments come from fear of what they themselves cannot face. To feel deeply is not to be fragile. It is to be awake. It is to live without a filter that dulls the edges. It is to see the sharpness and the beauty of life. It is to notice what others pass by. It is to care enough that the world moves you. Some carry armor over their hearts. You carry an open door. Both are ways of surviving. But only one lets light flood in, and that is your way. It can feel heavy at times. You may wish you could feel less, may long for the quiet inside. Others seem to have. But that quiet is not always peace. Often it is numbness. Numbness can cost as much as it protects. Feeling deeply is a gift, though it asks much of you. It makes relationships fuller. It makes art richer. It makes empathy natural. It makes love fierce and alive. It makes you a mirror for others. To live this way is to carry intensity. But intensity is not chaos. It is simply depth. A river is intense because it moves with power, but it also nourishes every root it touches. Your heart works in the same way. Some will never understand this gift. They will see the tears and not the wisdom behind them. They will see the overwhelm, but not the care that fuels it. They will see only the cost, not the richness. And that misunderstanding may hurt. It may make you doubt yourself. But listen quietly inside. You know there is strength in your tenderness. You know there is clarity in your intensity. You know there is life in your grief, your joy, your wonder. What you carry is real, and it has value. Deep feeling shows you what matters. It points you toward meaning. It refuses to let you live half asleep. It awakens you to connection. It gives you language for what others can't name. If you try to hide this part of you, you suffer. If you try to flatten your emotions, you lose your spark. If you pretend not to care, you fracture yourself. But if you honor your depth, you heal. If you respect it, you find your path. If you share it gently, you help others open too. Your tears are not weakness. They are the body's truth speaking. Your joy is not excess. It is the soul recognizing beauty. Your fear is not failure. It is your nervous system guarding what you love. Every strong feeling tells you something. Every emotion carries wisdom. Every intensity reveals what you value most. To feel deeply is to be honest. To feel deeply is to live without pretending. To feel deeply is to stay human in a world that numbs. You may not have been taught this. You may have been told to mute yourself, to smile when you wanted to cry, hold back when your heart wanted to pour out, to be smaller, quieter, safer for others. But today, you are hearing another truth, that your depth is not a flaw, that your intensity is a strength, that your way of feeling is not too much. It is a gift this world needs. You are allowed to keep it. Living with deep feeling is not easy. You may worry about being too much. You may fear overwhelming others. You may hide parts of yourself to stay safe. This hiding can feel like safety, but over time, it becomes a cage. To live freely, you need space to feel openly. Not with everyone, but with the ones who can hold it. Choose people who don't flinch at your tears. Choose friends who can sit with silence. Choose hearts that meet yours without fear. You deserve that kind of presence. You don't need to shrink to belong. You don't need to harden to be loved. You don't need to silence yourself to be accepted. True belonging comes when you are seen in full, and your depth is part of that fullness. Without it, you are only half present. Begin by trusting your own capacity. When a wave of emotion rises, pause. Notice its shape. Ask what it is here to tell you. Let yourself feel it without rushing to escape. Emotions become lighter when honored. Cry if you need to cry. Breathe through the tremor in your chest. Place a hand on your heart. Say, I'm here. This matters. Give yourself the care you once needed from others. This is how you stay steady inside intensity. Some days will feel heavy. You may wake already tired from carrying so much. Don't call this weakness. Call it honesty. Your body is telling the truth about your inner weather. Respect that truth. Rest is part of living deeply. Sensitivity is not only emotional, it is physical. Your body holds what your heart feels. Give it time to recover. Let it slow down. Let it breathe. When you care for your body, your emotions flow more gently. Sleep nourishes your inner strength. Food grounds you. Movement releases what words cannot. Touch reminds you that you are here. The body is your ally, not your enemy. Living with deep feeling also means setting boundaries. Your heart is wide open, but it has limits. Too much input can overwhelm you. Too much noise can drown your clarity. Too many demands can blur your sense of self. Boundaries keep your depth from becoming exhaustion. Saying no is an act of care. Choosing rest is an act of strength. Stepping away is an act of wisdom. These are not signs of fragility. They are signs of knowing your worth. They are signs of respecting your limits. Without boundaries, deep feeling can turn into self-loss. With boundaries, it becomes sustainable. You remain open, but not consumed. You remain tender, but not drained. You remain connected, but not swallowed. Another part of living deeply is expression. Emotions need pathways out. They stagnate when trapped inside. Art is one path. Writing is another. Music, movement, prayer, even silence, all can carry emotion outward. Expression does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be shared. It only needs to be true. Draw a line, even if it makes no sense. Write words no one will read. Sing when no one is listening. This is not performance. This is release. This is your heart speaking its language. When you express, you make room inside. You create space for the next wave. You keep yourself from drowning. Deep feeling also asks for community. Seek out others who live the same way. They may be rare, but they exist. You will know them by their eyes, by the way they pause before answering, by the way they listen without rushing. When you share your depth with another deep feeler, you are mirrored. You realize you are not alone in your intensity. You see your sensitivity reflected as strength. Feel less strange, less heavy, less isolated. Community gives your depth a place to rest, and rest is what keeps your heart alive. To live with deep feeling is not to erase your sensitivity. It is to walk with it, care for it, and honor it. It is to learn its rhythms, respect its limits, and trust its wisdom. When you do, your intensity becomes not a burden, but a way of belonging more fully to life. You have learned that feeling deeply is not weakness. You have learned that it is not shameful. Now you face the question, how do you carry it forward? How do you live in a world that often fears tenderness? How do you keep your sensitivity alive without hiding? The answer is slow, steady trust in yourself. Hope grows from honoring your depth. Confidence grows from practicing it daily. Every time you let yourself feel, you build strength. Every time you set a boundary, you claim respect. Every time you express yourself, you affirm your truth. These small acts gather into a larger wholeness. Carrying deep feeling means moving gently but firmly. It means knowing you are both soft and strong. It means walking through the world with open eyes, not closed ones. You see what others miss. You hear what others silence. You sense what others overlook. This perception is not a burden. It is a gift of presence. You notice the subtle tremor in a voice. You recognize unspoken pain in someone's face. You sense the weight behind a smile. You witness life more fully. Let this gift move you toward compassion. Do not use it to control, but to care. Your depth allows you to meet others with patience. You know what it is to feel too much? So you hold space when others feel lost. This makes you a quiet source of safety. Confidence comes not from being unshakable. It comes from knowing you will not break when you bend. It comes from trusting that emotions pass, that tears dry, that storms clear, that you remain. Carrying your depth into the world also means showing it. Speak your truth, Even if your voice trembles, say what matters, even if it feels small. Let your heart shape your words. The world needs more voices of honesty. Yours is one of them. Some people will not understand. They may call you sensitive as if it is an insult. They may dismiss your emotions as excess. Let them. Their judgment does not define you. Their limits do not erase your value. Others will hear you and feel seen. They will feel less alone because of your openness. They will find courage in your gentleness. They will remember their own forgotten softness. This is how deep feeling ripples outward. Quietly, subtly, powerfully. Carrying your depth is not about proving it. It is not about making it visible at all times. It is about embodying it in the way you live, in how you listen, in how you care, in how you choose to stay human in a world that rushes. There will be times when your sensitivity feels heavy again. You may long to shut it off. You may wish for numbness. That is part of the journey. Deep feeling is not a straight path. It is a rhythm of opening and retreating. Trust that retreat is not failure. Trust that rest is part of resilience. Trust that your depth is still alive even when quiet. You do not need to feel everything at once. You do not need to carry it all every day. Pace yourself. Carrying this gift means learning balance. Balance between openness and protection. Balance between expression and silence. Balance between giving and keeping. Balance between presence and retreat. Balance is not perfection, but practice. You practice by noticing. You practice by listening inward. You practice by adjusting gently. Each day teaches you how to live with depth. Each moment offers a chance to align. This is how confidence grows through practice, not performance. The hope of deep feeling is connection. When you carry your sensitivity openly, you invite connection. You make space for intimacy that is real. You build relationships that are honest. You foster trust that is steady. You live in ways that nourish belonging. Quiet confidence does not shout. It does not demand attention. It moves with calm assurance. It knows the worth of silence. It knows the strength of kindness. It knows the power of presence. To carry your deep feeling into the world is to walk with dignity. To live without apology for your tenderness. To know with hope that your sensitivity is not a flaw but a gift the world needs. This is quiet philosophy, where thinking isn't loud, and life doesn't need to be either. Subscribe if you haven't already, not for noise, but for something you can actually feel.